there, Cav P here. So, today I learned about ethics clearance. That's mostly a joke. I had a talk with my other supervisor today from the Australian university where I'm studying, and although my supervisor at the German university where I'm studying was like, oh, ethics, schmethics, just write your paper, do all the interviews, we don't really have anything that you need to do here. When I talked to my Australian supervisor about it, he was like, no, you need ethics clearance and it will take weeks to do, so don't you dare do anything or conduct any interviews until you get ethics clearance. So yeah, I need ethics clearance. So yeah, that's basically my next step. I need to do all the paperwork I need for ethics clearance, because after I do that, then I can start conducting interviews. It seems like, although originally I was just going to go to exhibitions and then, analyze them, do discourse analysis, that sort of thing about the representation of colonial history, what's happening in Berlin, as I'm pretty sure I mentioned before, is that a lot of these exhibitions, or at least the permanent exhibitions, which I want to focus on, are closed for renovation because they are trying to decolonize, which makes it a little bit difficult for me to be able to, comment on the representational techniques of each of these museums. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of thinking and a little bit of restructuring. And I think now that I've started to make contact with museum curators at the museums that I'm interested in, perhaps this is the time that I need to be filing ethics clearance so that when I talk to them, I can actually use that stuff, or even just talk about it. But yeah, that's where I'm at the moment with my research. On the other hand, I have been to, on the 12th of May, I went to a really interesting event at the Friedrichshain-Kreuzberg Museum. I went to an event held there, which was in service of a current decolonial exhibition that it's doing, or at least it's about migration, which includes colonialism as part of it, because a lot of migrants came as a result of having been colonized. It was in 3 sections. One section was a guided tour by the person who organized the exhibition. And what was interesting about this exhibition was that it explicitly attempted to make the colonized people subjects and characters in their own story, using photos from family photo albums to tell these stories. It was quite interesting. And then, so you might be thinking, oh, that's a bit ethically dubious. So the next section was actually a panel discussion with some of the people who had donated some of their family photos as part of the exhibition, as well as some other people who were integral in the production, the development of this exhibition. And they were talking about just the ethical nuances of this kind of a project, the pros and cons, that kind of thing, which I'm sure it was really interesting, but it was all in German, and I had just come back from a long bus trip after spending a day at a dinosaur theme park, which isn't relevant to this discussion, except to say that I was very, very tired. So my German brain was not switched on, and I didn't really get much of what was being said outside of what I already sort of figured, It's not all good, right? Fortunately, I saw that there was a film crew, or rather there was a filmographer who was there with a camera who was recording the events. So I've written to the museum to see whether they're going to make that video public, which might mean that I'll have a better chance to actually watch the video when I'm in a better German mindset and be able to, absorb what was talked about in that discussion because it seemed really lively and really fascinating. Um, yeah, after that, there was a film which was about uh, decolonial archives, or about how archives can be colonial constructs, or something like that. I say something like that rather passively because there was a train strike that was announced, and so I had to get back to I had to get back to my home in Cottbus before it all happened, and I was also exhausted at that point. And I'm kind of hoping I can access those films, or contact the director of those films at a later date to watch the screening in my own home, because it seemed absolutely fascinating. The whole event seemed really, really cool, and the exhibition, I'm going to go back and take a proper look when there's not an event going on, and hopefully there'll be less people, so I'll feel more comfortable taking photos. Yeah, that was really interesting, and it was very good to see what you can do with a very limited budget in terms of, a radical reinterpretation of the legacy of colonialism, and looking at how the legacy is from before the German Empire and continuing after the colonial empire allegedly ended, and looking at how this has affected German people, migrants who had come from these countries who are German now. Yeah, I thought it was really interesting. I would like to be able to analyze it a little bit better when I go back. But yeah, just to say, I've been doing some stuff, I've been doing some research, I've been making connections, and I have some paperwork to do. So that's me for now. Yeah, enjoy the sunny day. Let's have a look once more at the gorgeous scenery. Look at that. Look at that gorgeous building. That's Berlin. Bye.